No Clout can do with a Pharah up against Icy, who more than likely will be hopping over to that Pharah as well, with Slayer Gramps on the ground on the Tracer. And Wolf, you know, he's somebody who played support for the longest time here, and then he moved over to Tracer. He moved over to DPS, and he actually looked pretty solid on it. So, but he did.
Yeah, he started on DPS, and then he decided that given how much experience he had, given some of the teams that he was playing for and everything, the openings that were available on rosters, he went over to kind of main support / IGL, where he was able to kind of call things, help his teams out, but now he's back to DPS. So he did get his start on DPS.
Okay, well, I'm excited to see him back in the mix here as they look to take to this guy's Pharah up against Pharah. Looking forward to seeing what Boyle can do. Can he match up against Icy? As I say that, Fluff drops Hazy out of the mech as well. They're going to continue with the pressure here. They're going to push him all the way back into the spawn here. And looking like they might be able to get a re-engage before that point is captured, but not going to be the case. First point's going over to No Clout.
Remember back to Eichenwald especially and how much of an impact Fluff had. You can lessen that impact by taking him out early in situations like these. No Clout really has given themselves a fairly strong chance of being able to take this one, especially considering on a control map, it's all about control. And how can you control without the Winston in play?
Find a way to get their hands on Boyle as well up in the skies. They lost the mech, they lost Fluff early. He is just raining rockets down upon them here, coming up on a barrage as well. But Slayer Gramps nearing that pulse bomb. I gotta remember, Little Menace needs to be a priority target as he has his ultimate ready to go. Pulse bomb gonna miss wide left there from Slayer Gramps. Paintbrush taken down, but they are gonna continue to push forward with these kills. They don't need to use that barrage here. They're gonna hit 40% with ease.
Looks a little similar to a situation we thought we were in before. No Clout, or actually, sorry, it's going to be Bleh guys just on the other side of things. But they were able to bounce back on Night Market. That's a weird ultimate being used. I think a fat finger by Voyle. Yep, fat, yep.
Oh man, that's going to be really unfortunate. He doesn't have that to work with. This Icy's ready to go. Slayer Gramps did make a move over to the Widowmaker. Let's see what he can do with it. But Pulsis is the first to fall. They have the security of a sound barrier at their backs, and they're going to, again, just pummel them down here. 70%. They did not even need the barrage. Slayer Gramps, Icy, they need to get something going right here.
Icy trying to contest young sausage hands in the sky right now, as we will see the barrage at the ready, at least for Bleh guys, but they're still putting some pressure onto this Lucio. He's going to go down to about half. Slayer Gramps still cleaning things up. They need to get something with this barrage. They don't find anything.
And Little Menace just moments away from getting his Valkyrie. We'll see if he's able to make his way back into the fight with that. But Hurix, they're going to take him all the way to overtime. They are going to hit that 99% before giving it up over to the side of Bleh guys. They did it on Night Market in the semifinals. There's an opportunity for them to get back into this, but they don't really have a whole lot to work with in the meantime.
So far, when they have control, 100% win rate, man. Very, very tough to deal with that. Now Fluffy certainly going to be trying to pop off yet again, but now under duress by Voyle. It's going to be a hard question to ask, or it's going to be a hard ask of him, as now Hazy trying to provide a little bit of cover. Icy in the sky. We're seeing him being pressured. 2 directs from Voyle, securing the kill.
And they're going to try to take it right now here. I mean, they dropped the Valkyrie in this one. They also brought out that Primal Rage from Hypnot. This is it. Self-destruct, trying to find a kill. They do get Slayer Gramps. They've got the numbers. I'm afraid this is going to be a near impossible mission. The pulse bomb sticks from Wolf, and there is no one left to touch the point other than Icy coming in on the Pharah. Diva taken out of the mech. They can try their best to get back into this one, but Pulsis doesn't have the Valkyrie. Slayer Gramps will be able to touch for a moment along with Mercy, but Hurix, I just don't see it happening. They don't really have any ultimates to work with. Fluff going to try his best to jump in with the rest of the squad. If they can pick up a kill, it could be big, but there's also a sound barrier to work with from Paintbrush. Round number 1, going over to the side of No Clout, upsetting them here in this first round. That's a very impressive win.
And just like that, Wolf lost his spot on the SF Shock Academy team. No leaks, by the way. I mean, it reminds me a little bit, I think it was the preseason match where Dak just fired off to one of his teammates. I don't remember who he was yelling at. It might have been like Dante or something, or maybe like Nomi. I don't remember. But it was someone emoted a little bit too early. They still got it, but it might have thrown the game. And Wolf did the exact same thing just then, where he emoted, got taken down pretty low, and they finally were able to take it. But I mean, God forbid if that had allowed them to turn the fight and get control again, Wolf would have been kicking himself for sure. But looking at these comps, we're seeing a triple tank on both sides. Junkrat, a little bit of a mirror here, but Pulsis instead going to be on the Mercy, as he did get that initial speed boost so they could get there, but Paintbrush is going to be the one sticking to it.
For this point in particular, I'm really liking what I see here from the side of Bleh, guys. I mean, we know how deadly Icy is with the Junkrat, but Fluff takes him to town, man. He gets booped up into the air. They charge him right back into Hypnot, who's dropped at the hands of Slayer Gramps now, and that's going to kind of be the opening pick they need to move in off this Wolf, as well going to be taken out of the Mech Kyurx. And with that, first objective points going over to Bleh, guys. A solid start, and they're going to continue to put the pressure, see if they can get that Reptire locked and loaded.
It was such a great initial setup. When you have this Lucio, oh, we see the Reptire coming out. We'll have to pause that thought for the time being as he's looking for an opening. Will be able to find the kill onto Fluff.
Oh, that's a big pickup for these guys. Icy not ready to go with his just yet. He is going to unleash it, see if he can find something big for his team. Coalescence was out. A Graviton Surge comes through. They're trying to pull this one back, but no. Hazy is taken down. The follow-up pressure from Icy. Could it be enough, Kyurx? You've got the Reinhardt back in the mix, but there are no healers here for the side of Bleh, guys. Just a lot of help from the tanks and Kyurx. They hold on.
I hate Junkrat, man. I hate him, but
you and me both.
But we're gonna go back to that initial thought. Because of the fact that they had the Lucio, they're able to get back in there real quick. They're able to get set up. Great positioning to start that first fight off, because Paintbrush just throws Fluff way off, but with that big charge, they secure the first fight. Now the Earthshatter ready. We'll be looking at him. Now he lands the Earthshatter inside of the Graviton, and they also can bring everybody back up. They have the reses.
That was a big one. No sound barrier still dropped from Paintbrush. That was interesting to not use that before Hypnot was actually taken down. Maybe a little bit of comfort with that Graviton Surge as Wolf taken out of the Mech Kyurx. They've got so much follow-up pressure from Icy. They don't even need to use the Riptire. They will maintain control, and now at 75%, that Riptire could spell defeat for this round for the side of No Clout.
They have Coalescence, they have Riptire. Riptire's a big one, but that's on both sides, and Wolf now making a little bit of a change up. He's going to go over to the Reaper. We see the first tire being unleashed, the cord being pulled, and now looking for a potential kill. It goes over the top, barrier goes out, they find the kill onto Pulsis.
Couldn't ask for a better pickup, but on the other end, Icy gets one for himself. It's a 2-for-1 deal here for the side of No Clout. Their best opportunity yet to move in off this. Like you said, Wolf did make that move over to the Reaper, going to help them get past those tanks of the side of Bleh, guys, and it looks like they're going to be forced to back off this one, Kyurx. With that in mind, they still have plenty of ults to work with, 3, and as a matter of fact, to move in to this potentially final fight if they can find an opening pick.
It only took about 30 seconds for No Clout to flip the point back in their favor when they had 99%. Now we'll see if Bleh guys can have a similar situation occur for themselves, as they do rather have a lot of control that they could throw out. Earthshatter, they have a nasty Graviton that they're going to throw out. Icy already finding 2 kills.
A shatter, though, from Hypnot on the other end. He's trying to turn things around. I'm just not sure if it's quite possible. Self-destruct, a little bit of zoning to get Wolf off their back, but Pulses is in a one-on-one. Meanwhile, on the point, they take control. Wolf loses to the Battle Mercy, and that's going to be round number 2 going over to Bleh, guys. We are headed to Night Market to see who's going to be taking Lijiang Tower.
The exact same thing, man. I think it was 35%, and then on the second round, it was 33%. Teams just looking so dominant with these different compositions, but now we'll see Voil go back to the Pharah, where they looked really strong. We'll have to wait and see what Icy wants to play. Perhaps the Genji, I would imagine, is something that he's toying with. I don't think I would want to play the Junkrat here, especially knowing that at any point Voil might want to play the Pharah. So he's going to go over to the Genji. Still kind of have that same issue where, you know, how do you deal with the Pharah, but if you bring him low enough, maybe you'll have an opportunity. Pulsis giving that boost and then going back over to the Mercy.
Oh man, Slayer dropped immediately here. Icy, though, on the Genji is going to have to try to do what he can to deal with that Pharah in the skies here. I mean, they weren't able to deal with him on a garden. We'll see if they're able to do any better here on Night Market. It's a little bit better equipped to be able to deal with them. And Boyle, as I say that, he's going to be taken down. Gonna look to move in off this Fluff. Kind of caught in a rough spot, though. He's gonna be forced to back off of this one, give up his positioning near the point, which ultimately will give it over to No Clout to get things started. They're gonna continue to move in regardless. Stuck on the corner, see if they can push him off. Pulse is gonna grab Genji, get him back up into the thick of things. Still with Winston making his way back onto the point here, because that could give the numbers advantage over to the side of No Clout, and it looks like they will maintain control.
Counter dive from No Clout looks good. Looks like they will be able to secure this. Just need to kill off the Genji, and look how close that was to flipping. So close. I mean, that was like what, 99.99999999999%. But anyways, they don't get it, and because of that, they lost a lot of percent score off the board as well. They will be able to get a blade pretty soon, but have a lot to worry about. I'd like to see a deflect onto the barrage, man. That's what I would like to see.
And you can't do anything about that. Pulse Bomb. Slayer Grams tries to drop one in the back line for himself. Icy gonna go with it anyways. Forces out a sound barrier, and I don't know about that one. That wasn't... They already didn't have the Mercy. They're already kind of cornered into the back of that spawn, or near their spawn, Hurix. And again, maintain control from the side of No Clout. They're hitting 60% and counting, and there's no stopping these guys as they come up on a Valkyrie as well.
They just have so many options coming up. I mean, Little Menace, Valkyrie, Pulsis holding on to one. Calvin is a cat, going to have the Transcendence. But Barrage can kill inside of a Transcendence, especially if you're low enough. You can just throw all that damage together. It's a lot more accurate. You don't have to wait on those missiles to go. That projectile speed, not a worry. But there it is. Valk's on both sides.
Gonna try for something big here, looking for an opportunity to drop that barrage if possible. Self-destruct, gonna find one on both sides, but no, it's Hawk and the company, Hawk on the side of No Cloud, getting the better of the trade here with Pulses out of the mix. Not gonna have any reses to bring anyone up. 90% and counting. Farah's gonna go down as Icy did pick up a kill before he parted ways, but I don't even think they're gonna be able to make it back in time. The barrage into the Transcendence. Can they touch? They do indeed, Hurix. But do they have what it takes to be able to hold on?
Well, Hazy on the point. They're diving in onto Paintbrush. He's low. They do have the missiles on Hazy coming up pretty soon, but he's not going to be able to burst anyone down. He loses his mech almost instantly. Icy coming back now is on the Farah. They have to win this fight and every other one after it, and it doesn't look like they can even get this one.
Don't even, I mean, against the sound barrier, there is no hope. Try to hide in a corner if possible, Hurix, but not going to happen as Calvin can't touch. And game number one going over to No Clout.
Now moving into a second map, as we saw, it is going to be Gibraltar. That's a map that I really do enjoy, especially when, you know, the different phases being so different. It's very diverse, a lot of high ground control. Technically on both sides, but there's opportunity for some maybe tank comp and a lot of different looks that we could possibly see on Gibraltar. Kind of like Lijiang, I guess, you know?
One. What was that?
Kind of like Lijiang. Now that I think about it, I mean, we saw 3 different, pretty unique styles for I mean each team. Where especially Bleh guys who opted for the Farah to begin with, and then we saw the tank strat, and then we saw the traditional dive with the Tracer Genji. It's nice to see a little bit of disparity between compositions again, where maybe in the future we might not see some potentially, depending on how the PTR kind of changes pan out in the next meta. I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm hopeful, I guess.
Well, for those of you just joining us, we are here in the finals of the AG Weekly number 88. And we're getting close to that 100 Hurix. Very, very close. But, I mean, 2 teams that we normally wouldn't see in AG finals. I mean, that's the thing I kind of like, man. I mean, we did in the past, a couple months ago, you know, we had the same teams making it to the semifinals and finals every single week. And definitely an opportunity with the Open Division coming out here to see a lot of up-and-coming talent here in AG, especially in the finals here. No Clout up 1-0 unexpectedly up against Bleh guys. Both teams again are 7-1 in the Overwatch Open Division standings as it comes to a close. At least the regular season play comes to a close next weekend. I believe the following weekend is the playoffs for that. So very exciting stuff. Expect both of these 2 teams more than likely to make that top 16 and make it to the playoff bracket.
I'm looking forward to following that along because I'm really interested in seeing who's going to be landing themselves some contender slots, because You know, there's been some whispers. We've already seen a roster out for an Academy team, Philadelphia, actually. The Fusion University team just announced today. A lot of great young talent on that. I mean, Zerg, 14. I think he turned 15 like a week ago or something. So he's 15, or maybe a week from now he turns 15. I don't know, but he's in that ballpark. He's in that ballpark, so a really young talent, obviously needing some time to diversify his hero pool, but when you consider the fact that he's going to have 3 years to do it on probably one of the best stages that he possibly could in the contenders bracket on a university, or rather an academy team, that's going to do wonders for him. You're seeing Who Are You and Alarm from Lunatic High, very big pickups. I don't know, I mean, I'm curious to see what the other Academy teams are going to look like. Waiting for those official announcements, and certainly we'll see those pretty soon because Beat Invitational as well as Contenders Locks are very soon.
Well, this is it. Bleh guys trying to battle back, trying to push this to a game number 3 on Route 66 here in the finals. They got to take this map, and No Clout are on a rampage, looking very, very hot after that Lijiang map win. They're on offense here. Wolf on the Widowmaker. What can he make of it? Icy going to try to get in the back, see if he can deal some damage on the payload. Coming up with a kill on the Hypnot, who of course is on the Winston as opposed to that Reinhardt. Ooh, we'll see what they... Ooh, picks another kill up for himself, and very back and forth here. It's res after res from both sides, but it looks like the defense making a hold for the time being.
Remember, a lot of this is going to come down to trying to shut down Fluff on this Winston. If they can do that, big openings for Hypnot, big openings for the rest of this squad to move the payload forward. This Widow from Wolf certainly working out. The Nova Maker back in play. Sounded like an Australian almost, Nova Maker. But anyways, he's looking for a pick here. Icy almost going to go down, but really great use of sightlines. Slayer Gramps falls, but everybody else was good.
And a Dragon Blade now coming out from Boyle. Gonna try to knock him off the high ground. Slayer Grams gets right back up, but shut down once again. Both DPS absolutely denied by Wolf in the far back. They need to do something, need to find a way to deal with this man. And I gotta say it here, because I gotta hand it to this guy. We really haven't seen Wolf on Widowmaker, at least from what I recall in the past. He played a lot of the Tracer, but his Widowmaker really shaping up here, and he's picking them off one by one.
He used to play Widow. He used to play Genji a lot. It was his buddy Bird who played a lot of the other hit scans. You see Bird obviously playing a lot of the Soldier. I could be horribly mistaken, so somebody make fun of me in chat if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm usually
Just make
right.
fun of him in chat regardless, guys.
Yeah.
They're going to be looking to enter here and see if they can take control of the high ground, but that's going to be rough when you already got a Diva, you've already got a Winston and Genji up top controlling it. Calvin is dropped again. Pulse is more than likely going to have to drop that Resurrect on him. He's not even close to having a Valkyrie, but on the payload, it's Icy. He's going to try to make waves with the rest of the squad here. They find Wolf, and that's going to open it up for these guys. Self-destruct from the other end, but it doesn't matter, as finally some resistance coming out from the defense.
You could say it's a wasted nano boost. I mean, they didn't really get a lot done with it. They secured the kill onto Hypnot, but you could easily say that they would have gotten that regardless. He didn't really find any damage with the blade with it for sure, but they still back him off, and they will be able to make the swap. Calvin is a cat going over now to the Zenyatta. I like this, especially considering Voil is on the Genji. They want to have that Transcendence to block that off.
To have that Infrasight ready to go here from Wolf, see if they can take advantage of it. Sitting on, of course, that Dragon Blade, there is no Transcendence from Calvin to counteract that one, so Boyle going to take complete advantage of that, trying to get in the back, finds the Mercy, finds another with the Swift Strike, and Furix, he shuts him down in the back here, and going to allow for that payload to move forward as soon as Diva is off of it. Fluff going to try his best to contest, but a Primal Rage, we'll see how long he can last with that Orb of Discord on it.
Ooh, headshot onto Fluff. That's going to send him to the grave. He's going to be waiting for that respawn. I don't see Pulsis able to do anything about this. They're going to just kind of bide their time a little bit, see if they can get someone on the point, I think. But now it's... I don't know if they're going to be able to. Yeah.
They Valkyried it. Furix. Oh my goodness. The Valkyrie comes out. Paintbrush now with the Transcendence, a self-destruct, but a Tactical Visor now coming up from up top. Can Slayer Grams find anything? No, he's going to be denied by Hypnot on the Winston. They do confirm the second checkpoint. A lot of ults blown from both sides, but ultimately going over in favor of No Clout. That would have been huge if Bleh guys would have been able to make the hold Furix, but not the case. And now Wolf with Infrasight ready to go, trying to pick him off from the spot.
A little bit of a matchup here for us. Widow v Widow, Wolf and Slayer Gramps. Wolf obviously warmed up already, but Slayer Gramps looking to try to make a bold statement to start things off. Not going to get one, though. And Wolf, I think, who was actually beamed up by the Mercy, and I can confirm that via the scoreboard, or the kill feed, rather. He was able to get that extra little bit of damage, secure that kill.
Gotta do something. Icy needs to get into the back line. He hasn't been able to do it this game. Slayer on the Widowmaker trying to contest him, but you know, with Hypnot in his face, and then you also have to worry about Wolf and Boyle with another Dragon Blade. They actually go ahead and pop a Transcendence from Calvin, trying to keep themselves alive near the payload. Gonna be an easy regroup from No Clout, but they're still pressing forward. They are still racking up kills with the D.Va and Genji alone here. I don't know. This is not looking good at all for the defense.
This is a wild fight, though. I mean, neither side really convincingly taking it. We're seeing a lot of damage going onto the front line. Hypnot getting taken down pretty low, with Hawk forced to pop the self-destruct kind of aggressively just to try to catch them off guard. But the blade comes out from Boyle. He already secured the kill onto the Mercy. They're looking for more.
2 Dragon Blades in a row now. Boyle opens up the fight with the kill onto Mercy. Very impressive focus coming out from this guy. A Primal Rage again from Fluff, trying to save the day if he can, but he's all alone. He's got the Orb of Discord on, and there's no... Oh, he gets picked off! Wolf finds him as he's starting to jump up in the air. Oh man, what do you do against this guy? Now another Dragon Blade from Icy, though. It's gonna be a Transcendence, shutting him down swiftly. Pulse Bomb's out, might be able to get the D-Mech onto Hazy. They do indeed. That's a big pickup for these guys as they continue to with the relentless pressure here. But Hawk is also out of the mech. Icy back on the payload. Hawk back in the mech. Can they contest long enough? Not going to be the case. Mercy is not going to make it, and they complete Watch Point Gibraltar with 203. Oh man, No Clout are dominating across the board.
This is looking good, and now I'm curious, who did they even lose to in the open division? I don't have it up right now. Usually I follow this, but my eye has been keenly pointed towards Europe for obvious reasons for the past week, 2 weeks or so. So I'm very curious to know who was able to take this team down, because against a squad like Bleh guys, yeah, they're not the probably best team in open division, but they are up there without a doubt. And they have looked phenomenal, especially since they've made some roster adjustments. I mean, we saw Sheershoy and DSP Stanky on the roster before, but despite those guys being some names that we've seen a lot that are really strong, what?
They lost to the Overwatch mid-season pickup.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, that's very understandable.
That's very understandable. You're talking about a team that, like, probably will easily make their way into contenders. A very, very strong roster. I would say top 4 easily in open division, just based off of what I was able to see. What number one?
Against Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto.
Pretty much those two.
Envision already has a spot. Maybe Midnight Marauders is up there. I don't know what the standings are like right now, but that's probably another team I would be looking at. That's the old Rise Nation.
Yeah, I mean, well, their last 2 games of the season are against the Savages, which is a pretty solid matchup, and then they'll be playing against Sleeper Picks as well. So I think, honestly, for No Clout, from what we've seen against Bleh guys, and I mean, granted, Bleh guys, you know, they should be undefeated. They're at 7-1. They're forced to forfeit. You know, I feel like No Clout could very well end up going, you know, 9-1. And making, you know, getting a good seed for the playoffs, but they still have work to do right here. We're in AG, not in the open right now. They're going to try to make a hold up against these guys and take the finals 2-0 as Royal over to the Soldier 76. Wolf back on the Tracer here, and Slayer Gramps going to start out with a Widowmaker.
And how is it that we haven't heard of some of these players too? I mean, obviously, yeah, Little Menace, Paintbrush, Wolf, guys we've seen and talked about, we've seen on stream as well, even on this one. But Voyle, how did this guy go under the radar?
I couldn't tell you, man. I mean, we had those teams like Toronto Esports playing in AG every week and getting to the finals, so we didn't really see a lot of these guys on stream that often here. Regardless, there's still work to be done. Gonna have to find a way to deal with Slayer Gramps. They lose the mech early on. It's gonna open up line of sight here for the Widowmaker, not Genji.
Slayer Gramps' turn on the Nova Maker, as opposed to the Nova Maker, but he's going to look for some opening picks. They already put out decent display of damage, and Hazy going to come through. Nice little thrust to secure that kill. That's going to be the res forced out by Little Menace, and He won't have that Valk to back it up. Will actually lose his life by going for that aggressively.
I see with the Dragon Blade in the back line here. He does get dropped, but before that, he picks up a kill for himself, TRX, and this could be a recurring issue of what do you do to stop the Widowmaker right now, because they don't seem to have an answer. Wolf tries to jump in with the Pulse Bomb. Him against the world, not going to be able to do much, and they are on track for setting a tremendous time as well. 5 minutes to work with. Let's see what they can do here in the second phase of the map.
Now it's that Widowmaker. They already used the Infrasight, but already claiming his first kill of this second section of the map. Slayer Gramps denied Voil on that Soldier, so now they're going to have to wait for him to come back, so they have that consistent DPS threat that is the Soldier. But now we do see Calvin is a cat. Transcendence at the ready. Could deny anything they pulled out. Little Menace, of course, who died earlier in that first phase, has that Valkyrie as well, but so does Pulsis.
We're going to go ahead and pop this Valkyrie coming out from Little Menace. Let's see how aggressive they really want to get with it. Pulsis didn't quite drop his. Now they're going to see Attack Visor come out from Boyle. What can they get done with it? It's going to be into a Transcendence here, so not quite going to find a whole lot, along with Hazy still being in his mech. But now Paintbrush comes through with his own Transcendence here. It's a battle of the ultimates. Who's going to drop first? Fluff under a little bit of pressure. Self-destruct, not quite going to find anything, but Calvin is a cat goes down, but Resurrect gets him back up, and now Little Menace is out of the picture here, because that's going to be big with the Mercy not on the table. The defense just trying their best to hold on as long as they possibly can, and Icy going to try to clean it up for the squad.
Icy with a huge blade right there. He's going to put that one away. And look at the time bank that they've afforded themselves, especially as they're going to get a late kill onto Hypnot there as well. I don't know what he thought he was going to be able to accomplish. I would have just dove for the side of the map. There's no way you get away on that one. But either way, they take the kill. Voil swaps over to the Genji. Slayer Gramps still on this Widow, and he has a lot of space to work with now as well as he's on this high ground. They're going to have to dive to him to try to do anything about this, and Hawk is really going to be the guy to look out for if they want to make that play happen. And they are sneaking their way over, so it looks like that is going to be the play.
Exactly what they needed. They needed some resistance at some point in time. They can't give them, 3-4+ minutes to work with for a second attempt here. And if they keep trading kills, it's obviously going to go in their favor as that payload nears the final checkpoint here. But Slayer Gramps is still alive and well. He is still dropping people left and right here as they try to deal with Hazy, and they're going to slowly push the payload forward. But Hypnot might have something to say about that as he jumps back on looking for support. For some support there from the rest of the squad. They're going to be forced to back off of this one here, and Slayer Gramps, Wolf actually moving over to the Widowmaker to try to deal with him.
Now look at the positioning here. We're seeing the supports come up. It's going to be a little bit of a Widowmaker versus Widowmaker as the blade comes out from Voil.
It's going to be from both sides. Transcendence now coming out as well. Wolf does find Slayer Gramps, but he gets brought back right into the fight here. Pulsis dropping his Valkyrie. It's going to come out from both sides, actually. This is all or nothing here for the defense. They need to make something happen. Hazy picks up 2 kills, but Little Menace is able to get one back up into the fight. Slayer Gramps is still up top, uncontested. A self-destruct to save them all. Does he get any? No, not going to be the case here, because they're going to have 319 compared to that 203 to work with. And Bleh guys trying desperately to move this into game number 3.
One time Slayer Gramps was having any kind of conflict in his face. I mean, we saw a dive one time at the very end of the map where finally Slayer Gramps was under pressure. Other than that, he had so much space to work with, obviously afforded to him by guys like Hazy, Icy, even Fluff, who's been really solid today, I would say, or pretty lights out day for him. But one time, man, we saw on the attacking side for... of course, no Clout. It was Wolf basically kind of always under pressure and then forced because they just didn't have the space to work with. Slayer Gramps lost initially to Wolf on that Widow v Widow, but looked a lot better on their attack.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
It would be absolutely huge here if we saw either team be able to come out with the first one team fight, or excuse me, on the defensive side of things. This is what I'm going for here, because both teams pretty much steamrolling from the get-go here. It's all the way up until pretty much the end of the map, where we saw a little bit of resistance before that third checkpoint was secured. But 319 on Gibraltar is still a lot of time to work with compared to 203. So no Clout gonna have to get a lot of work done here on offense. It's gonna be up to Wolf to find pick after pick. He's got to be on fire like he was in the first attempt here. And if they lose somebody early on, not going to be a good start, as they are just going to dive right into that back line. Icy getting a little too over aggressive and losing his own life, and Little Menace out of the picture here. They're going to buy themselves a little bit of time on defense.
Ooh, nice couple of shots from Wolf. Should be allowing his team to start moving forward, but these supports are still both up. They're trying to get back, try to collate with the rest of the team. That's something to look out for, as not that aggressive from No Clout here after they won that fight. They didn't try to follow up for a couple more kills just to create a little bit more momentum for themselves. 115 now. Let's see if Bleh guys can have a defense.
Seeing what they can do. Little Menace getting a little too low here. Voil on the point by himself as Wolf picks up a kill. They need to... Oh, Hazy's out of the mech. This could be big. An opportunity to move forward. They're not going to waste any time. Hypnot on the front line. He is dropping bombs on these guys right now. Pulsus drops here. That's a big victory for these guys, as they might be able to secure this checkpoint. I highly doubt they will. There's no reason... Oh, they're actually going to back off of this one. They're going to give it up here with about 44 seconds to go here. A single team fight at this stage could possibly do it here for the defense to make the hold.
This time, a lot more space provided to Wolf, but watch for Hazy here. He likes to jump at these guys, and they will indeed along the backside of Fluff there, but he'll fall almost instantly.
We'll rage out here from Hypnot. They need to take care of their Widowmaker. Now a Dragonblade Voil picks up Pulsus as he's going for the Resurrect. That was a big kill for these guys. They should have the numbers to move on forward. They're still holding on to that support ultimate from actually both supports here, and they get Paintbrush back into the thick of things. This is a tremendous situation for these guys to be in here. If they secure a second checkpoint, we could be looking at a victory from these guys, but I wouldn't put it past 5 ultimates from the defense to make the stand.
Fantastic execution of a counter dive there. Wolf now trying to take a pick, but we will see Clout as a cat pulling out the Transcendence. It's very early on, so now we'll see one returned by Paintbrush.
Unfortunately for Icy, that Transcendence was out. Hawk trying to pull this one back, but Pulsus gets 2 back up for his team. We've got Valkyries out from both sides. What are they going to make of it here? It's the defense have that spawn advantage. Little Menace is still alive and healthy on the point, and with a Primal Rage coming out from the defense, that should be enough to hold the door closed here, as Little Menace is all alone. He's going to drop. Overtime's going to go down, and now is the opportunity for Bleh guys on the offensive side of things to try to push this to a game number 3 on Route 66.
Pretty solid for 2 minutes and 3 seconds. I mean, they definitely made the most of it, got pretty close to being able to secure this, and this is certainly winnable if you're No Clout, but you have to be able to shut down Slayer Gramps. When he brought out the Widow of his own, yeah, the first time around wasn't so great when he was denied by Wolf initially, but then all of a sudden, things started to click on their attack. A lot of space being created. Hazy was doing a phenomenal job. Only one time was Slayer Gramps really kind of contested. Now we'll have to see if things will change. Can Hypnot and Hawk get in there, get involved, try to put some pressure down, or at least start getting ahead on that ground fight so that it doesn't mean as much that the Widowmaker is in play, and then allow Voil to have a little bit of time to make his way over and contest that Widow.
Hurix, we do have a little bit of an update on the score. It is a 1-0 lead here.
Oh,
by the way,
you're
for
right.
The side of No Clout. Thanks for pointing that out in chat.
You are right.
Typical NA stream.
Typical NA production, typically provided by Hurix. But
man.
In my defense, it's been a lot of casting without having to host a stream, so I'm just like straight up not used to it anymore.
Don't blame you. Anyhow, guys, this is it. Will No Clout take the tournament right here, right now, or are we going to be heading to Route 66? It's all up to this defense or offense, depending on how you look at it, as to what's going to happen here. It's 3 minutes to work with is enough time. You're basically going to that second checkpoint. Don't need to quite confirm it, but as much time as they can buy on defense is what you're looking for. And Slayer Gramps, on the Widowmaker, he was a real threat their first time around on offense here. But in the back, Pulsus almost gets taken down by the Winston. A good start here nonetheless for the Blue.
It's just crazy that there's just so much talent at all levels right now. You watch Slayer Gramps, and I mean, this is a guy that you would easily expect to see in contenders. If it's not with this team, I'm sure someone will snatch this guy up in a second. He's been popping off on this Widowmaker. He's been consistent. We've watched him over the last couple of weeks as he obviously he's even grown in that period of time. Saw him before. Obviously a lot of improvement since then, but he's got a lot of space here. Looking like he's playing from server room. They jump on him. This time Hypnot and Hawk gonna get aggressive.
Oh man, that's a big pickup for these guys. This is a huge fight to win for the defense here, and they are more than likely going to continue with this aggressive play. Slayer's going to get dropped here. Man, what a play. Again, over-aggressive play by Icy, getting out of position, and the rest of the, it was kind of history. No Clout following up on that here, and if they are able to pull off another team fight victory, that would be massive. And the fact that Little Menace is ready to go with his ultimate is going to be big for this next team fight.
Now, as far as pacing goes, No Clout is looking at this like they were down about a minute, maybe a little bit more than that, but anytime you win a fight, that just gets you back in line. So trying to control this objective here is just about maybe taking 2 fights, even if it's just that one right there and one to be able to end it with. Icy falling so quickly after the blade gets popped out.
He does get back up into the fight, of course, not going to retain that blade by any means, but let's see if he can do something else with it. They still don't quite have that ultimate from Calvin, who does have a Transcendence now, but I don't really know if they have the follow-up pressure is the real question. A kill on the Icy again. He goes down. We're down to 60 seconds here. No ultimates required to clean that one up from No Clout, and they've got a Transcendence moving into that potentially final fight here.
Paintbrush with one of his own, and we'll have to see if they want to get aggressive, try to bait out this Transcendence early from Calvin as a cat. I would certainly be trying to think about making that play because you want to be able to just rely on the blade to clean things nicely, just as Icy did before on Eichenwald. So I would be saying right now, if I was No Clout, try to look for Calvin, try to pop that with your tanks, try to pop that Transcendence, and then wait it out, play it out, and then allow for Voil to have a big play with the blade.
Gotta find a way. Oh, he does actually drop it really early. That is huge. And Icy again, the first to fall in this fight here. Little Menace, though, is taken out of the fight. This could be it for the offense here. They need to take it now. Boyle picks up 2 kills. Both supports are out of the picture here. Hazy might have an opportunity to bring this back with Fluff. I just don't know if they have the support on the payload, as Hypnot and Boyle and Paintbrush are doing all they can. Icy, another Dragon Blade. He racks up a kill, looking for another here. But Little Menace is back in the fight, gonna bring one up. It's gonna be Paintbrush of all people here. There are no tanks in the area for the offense. It's anybody's game at this point. Can Slayer Gramps come up big with a pulse bomb?
Oh, it's about half and half. I mean, it really is determined by who gets the next couple of picks. Fluff with a big kill, but somehow Icy falls to Little Menace. He's getting close to getting that Valkyrie. That's going to be huge. If he can secure that and get away here, he's going to pop it. Rez is going to come out from No Clout, and I don't know, it looks like No Clout might be able to do this.
I think they've done it. Slayer Gramps, it's Hazy. They're both going to be taken down, and No Clout take Watchpoint Gibraltar and take the tournament. An incredible performance from those guys. GG's all around.
And look at that. I even remembered to update the score as it happened. Paintbrush with the play of the game. That's not something we've seen in a long time. Paintbrush there. I think he's actually even on my friends list, or maybe he tried to add me and I'm kind of a dick, so I don't think I've added him back, maybe, but maybe I'll add him now because boy does his team look good. Yeah.
Anyhow, GG's.